time MnM have won. Coming into this, things aren't going to be looking too great. So it will be a tall order. Potentially, though, Reason could try and take a stand here, and they need to, in all honesty. Train is going to be a tricky one for them if we go to map number 4. And, I mean, if they lose this, that could potentially be the final map. They won't even get to long it out to ones that we're saying that they could potentially be favored to win on in the form of Cash and B2. So it is going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky to say the least.
Yeah. But we do see Reason have managed to win out that knife round. That's the second time in a row they've managed to do that now. It does mean they get to pick their side. Generally speaking, wouldn't be... Yeah, they are going to stay on this one. Not at all surprised to see them stay on the CT side of Overpass. Generally, this is considered to be a CT-favoured map. But MnM, they don't seem to mind whether a map is CT or T-favoured. They don't really seem to mind what the rules are, what is going on in this series, because they are just ploughing forth regardless. And here we go, as the first pistol is underway. We're actually going to see Rattlesnake looking to go for that aim battle in mid, but immediately 3 down through connector on the bottom of the map. It's going to be Rom here trying to defend, but can't land a single shot there. And now Rattlesnake will be pushed back as well. Finds one for himself. Robin Nasty chimes in as well. Grabs 2 all in all. And MnM actually not managing to get that to work, but it was all a ruse. Just a cunning ruse coming out from MnM. They are going to be able to get this plant down.
Yeah, Mole not actually opting to do it just yet. Going to be going aggressive, pushes down the stairs, trying to catch the Reason players off guard as they make their way up. Be able to spot out one, but Cryptix finds his head and rips it off. Now it's all on Keo, 1 versus 3. He's got a Deagle to try and play around with. Not really the most ideal weapon though that you'd want in this situation. Can find some good damage on the upside. I mean, Robin, he's watching that bomb. Keo, he's got to try and muster all of his aiming talent and skill to try and clutch this one out. And well, 1 versus 3 situation that you would want Keo to be in. Bomb is down though, 40 seconds left. He's got to try and make something happen. Finds the first out on a Cryptix. That's the start they need. No trade coming through just yet. He's keeping the aggression going, and they're almost scared of him right now. Don't know if that's the prestige and the pedigree of this player, or if it is just the fact that that Deagle is so deadly at close range. He's going to be able to find that first frag, gets the bomb as well, making his way towards B. They relinquish control of it over towards the side of MnM, but he's going to get tagged down low. Tries to go potentially for the plant, but it's going to be Robin Nasty to find that frag through the wood, takes him down, and Reason Gaming, they get the pistol.
Yeah, absolutely, and crucially, I've got to say, considering that was a pistol, it's almost surprising that you see someone like Kiyoshima going with the Deagle in the pistol round, but also it kind of says to me that maybe he's not taking this all too seriously anymore.
That's what I was going to say.
2-0 up in this series. And I think that might just be a little bit of cocky play coming out from Kiyoshima right there. And almost pulled it off as well. Managed to tag one of those last 2 players. Almost got the bomb down, but did get shut down in the end. So Reason off to a good start this time. This is the first time in this series we've seen them with the lead. Let's just put that into context. The first time across 2 maps they've been in the lead at all. But Mole is going to find the first frag of the round.
Yeah, so already MnM looking to try and upset that statistic. They do have 1 frag to the name and the UMP on the back of Mole. Also grabbing control of this A site. No one here for the side of Reason to try and hold things back. You can see they're rotating on through now, realizing the error of their ways. But is it too little too late? Robin Nasty coming in from behind, finds Keo, takes him down. Oh, it's going to put it back into a 4-on-4. The numbers get equalized on out, but Stanley being pushed up in towards Toilet so aggressively, backed up by Mole as well. It's going to be dangerous. Doesn't even need Stanley though. He finds the frag with the UMP regardless. It's Cryptix to find 1 as he makes his way out of bank. Just trying to cash in at this check early. They keep going with the MP7. It's all on Stanley. 1 versus 3. He's able to get 1 frag, but is going to get taken out. And it's actually Robin there to find 4 frags to his name to secure that second round on the board for Reason. The scary thing is, if he didn't find those 4 kills, would that round have gone the way of Reason? That's something you have to look at. I mean, it came down to him almost solely there for the retake to find those kills.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he did manage to get that 4K. And look at the scoreboard right now. 7 kills for Robin Nasty. 3 across the rest of his team in total. Robin Nasty is single-handedly winning this game for Reason so far. They are 2 rounds up, and it's going to be a full eco coming out for MnM. So there shouldn't be any way that MnM can take this one. And some nice cash going to be flowing on in here with the SMG kills coming on through. Mole does find 1, but Keo finds himself alone here. It is going to be Bishop there with that SMG still to... Oh, in fact, he found himself an M4, but Keo sneaking on through. He's found this bomb as well. There was only 4 HP on Bishop, so he had to back away in the end. Now a UMP in hand. Any other player, I'd say this is just lost already. But Keo, I almost want to believe it's doable. And he puts one in the skull of Rattlesnake. Kiyoshima on the scene. Let's see what else he can pull off right now. Bishop waiting in the wings, but 4 HP to work with. It's not going to be an easy 1v1 for him. And this is where we've got to see Reason really work as a team. If Keo can find the 1v1s, that's where it's going to fall apart for Reason.
Yeah, he's got a flash to try and play around with the Deagle and the UMP, so he's fairly kitted out for both long and short-range engagements. The lack of armor really the only thing going in favor of Reason. He does good damage out on Rom. The trade should come through from Bishop, and that's exactly what you see. The double peak there coming into effect. Rom does go down, but at least they get the frag. They don't give Keo too much in the way of opportunity into that round.
Yeah.
But I mean, that deep shot, it was so incredibly filthy. It was so violent. Our observers just couldn't show it. We flicked away just for the sake of the viewers. And yeah,
it was for your own benefit.
Yeah. It is going to go 3-0 though. Reason they pick up the anti-eco rounds, something that they have yet been able to do throughout this today's games. Meanwhile, in mid, Bishop tries to find some aggression early on, just misses that shot with the AWP. Sadly, the Mole doesn't get the benefit of it. It's going to just maintain this 5-on-5. No frags going the way of either team early on. Now we're going to be seeing MnM trying to make their way to exert some long pressure.
And we'll see whether MnM are going to be able to get themselves back onto the scoreboard here in this game. Yet to find a map around here on Overpass. And, you know, I was kind of condemning Reason as we headed onto Overpass. I was saying, you know, previous results have both been 16-6. They've not really been able to achieve much. But certainly taking initiative as we begin this map. But just a minute left on the clock. And MnM, they're slowly but surely gaining control of the map. Slowly but surely edging forwards. It's going to be Stanley taking point here as he heads towards the B site. And there's going to be a lot on his shoulders. If he can find an entry, this is going to be their way back onto the scoreboard here. But Reason, it's all down to them. They desperately need to get this map on the board. Best of 7 here, so they're not out just yet, but Rattlesnake will be here to shut down Jenko as he's trying to do a bit of parkour there. Will get taken straight out of the sky. And that means that it's 4 versus 4 now. MnM deciding to go for this B site.
Yeah, they're making their way on through. Smokes and flashes allowing them passage out onto the site. It is going to signal their approach, though, because with only 20 seconds left, where else could they be? The rotate already fully underway by Reason. All 4 players here for either side to try and hold this one down. The bomb still is yet to be planted. If they can try and find a frag just to kickstart things, as Robin does take down Stanley in the trade. Bomb's going to get planted. Mole can't capitalize on it with the AWP, and Rom finds himself a frag of his own. Robin chiming in with a second. Now it's all on Aaron, 1 versus 3. And Robin, he finds the third. That's going to be the hat-trick for him. As Reason, they take a 4th round on the board.
What's happened?
I don't know.
Where did MnM go? Are they sat in the wrong seats or something?
I feel like we had a little break. You've had a sandwich. They've had sandwiches.
I had a wrap.
Yeah, I feel like it is something potentially to do with that. I mean, they've come back. Reason, they're in top form now. They found these first 4 rounds, and you know, it is only the first 4 rounds. You can't comment on it too much. I mean, 3 of them were anti-ecos, so you can't give too much away on Reason just yet. But already, just from the sheer levels of communication, from the trading that they've been able to do, things are looking a hell of a lot better as we head into this. So, Keo looking to try and prove me wrong. Does take down Bishop off the bat. Rom trying to trade things down. Finds one, finds a second. He does so much damage. Rom! That's what you needed to kickstart things for the side of Reason. And now MnM, they have to try and play this with a 1-man disadvantage.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the point of it was basically only Robin Nasty stepping up in this game, but Rom's already proved me wrong before I said it right there with that double spray. Really solid coming out from him. We are going to see the rotation coming on through here from MnM, looking to try and go elsewhere on the map, but do get spotted out by Rattlesnake, so they're not really going to be able to get away with too much, and everybody's so low on HP that Stanley, he has to be the one leading right now. I would not be surprised to see Stanley actually drop the bomb to a teammate, despite being on the higher HP, just so he can go for those aggressive peaks and go for the aim battles. But it's going to be Keo going down long, up in a 1v1 against Rattlesnake, but gets his head taken clean off of his shoulders. And now they're going to push up towards A.
Yeah, Stanley and Mole, 2 versus 4 to try and make this work. And Robin, as he finds Mole, it's all going to be left on the shoulders of Stanley. The whole weight of MnM relying on him, and that might be too much of a weight to bear as he makes his way in towards this A site. 2 players here for him to find. He does spot out Robin Nasty on the other side of the boxes there. He doesn't know that Rattlesnake over towards long is going to be another threat, and they hear him sprinting on over. Going to be able to find that first frag. Looking for number 2, but Robin Nasty's there. Takes him down. A second frag into that round. And I mean, currently, Robin finds himself 14-1. I mean, not even comparable with anyone else on his team. If we could bring up the scoreboard just to quickly show the caliber of how good he is doing right now. 14 frags to his name, and what, 8 frags across the rest of his team.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've got 11 frags between them, which is still less than Robin Nasty, who is... it's not even... I don't have a phrase for when a player is going quite to this level of single-handedly carrying a game right now. But it's going to be Rattlesnake pushing forwards here, looking for Mole. Still 80 HP, but that grenade is going to tag him very low, 26 HP remaining. And look at this, Rattlesnake has found them from the side, gets one for himself, looking for Keo, but can't connect. The shots will finish him off in the end. Jenko chimes in, though, with a Desert Eagle and finds one for himself, and he's looking for Rattlesnake as well, knows exactly where he is, and he's looking to end the party over at Party. Rattlesnake, though, finishes him off, and Rom will go down as well. So, Aaron in a 2 versus 1, 20 HP, though. I don't think he's going to do anything, especially if he's reloading when he gets into a fight. 6th round on the board for Reason Gaming, and they are on a roll, it is safe to say. Right now, if MnM want to live up to the last 2 times they've played Reason on Overpass, they have to get 16 rounds in a row.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I mean, Robin's doing insane. Rattlesnake's actually hitting people. Things are just... things have been flipped on their head. Rom as well has had a fairly decent performance in towards that B site. And I mean, from the side of MnM, pretty absent. Aaron only on 1 frag currently, and he's someone who we've been saying, you know, is bringing a lot of talent into the team, trying to fill the boots, of course, of Chak, the player who dropped out and has been swapped around. You know, Kiyoshima and Aaron standing on in. And right now, Aaron, he's leaving a lot to be desired. Who, you know, previously was one of these players that we kept mentioning as someone who was having these standout performances. Now it seems like he's really struggling.
Yeah, he's certainly not wrong on that one. I think the whole lineup of MnM, to be honest, really struggling on Overpass here. And, you know, I find this somewhat surprising, to be quite honest. Maybe we'll see something better out of them on that CT side themselves, but you would hope they'd at least be able to get a few rounds for themselves here in the first half of the game. Reason currently 6-0 up, as you can see. But with an AWP in the hands of Jenko, maybe this is the opportunity to find a round right now. Jenko whiffing the first shot. It would have been a glorious shot if he had managed to hit it, though, to be honest. It was only a sliver of a head he saw for a split second there, but Stanley now going to be the first one to push up. He's often the guy that they send in first, but he is going to be able to find that entry frag. Rattlesnake already on the seat. They're waiting for them to push in, but he's fully blinded for too long, and Aaron will capitalize. 2 CTs remaining. They're on the rotation, but Aaron's having none of it. Rom, the last man remaining. He's in a 1 versus 4. They have the money to be able to try and go for this play. He knows that Aaron's going to be coming around the side, but it doesn't matter. Gets the headshot, but can't get the second bullet. Aaron shuts him down. And just as we say how Aaron has been struggling on this map, he goes huge, gets a 3K for himself.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, maybe you have to critique a player a little bit. They have to hear you and learn to hate you, and then they eventually prove you wrong. 400% is what he just basically did to his kills. He went from 1 to 4, which, you know, when you actually say it, isn't that impressive. But still, it is going to be the round going the way of MnM as he finds a nice triple kill into that one. We can see Reason on the back foot here, having to try and force buy up into this one. Damage is done by Bishop in mid, but he's going to get taken down, and Stanley finds him. They do get control of mid early on. Rattlesnake, the only player nearby to try and trade things out with a Deagle in towards Toilets. Doesn't want to face off against the AWP on Jenko, and I can't say I blame him. He's going to have to start to fall on back. The hold in mid is going to be completely demolished. And Rattlesnake up and towards Toilets is going to get reinforced. Rabanasti and Cryptix both rotating on through to go for a very aggressive hold on mid here, with all 4 players over towards A.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised, because that's really where we've seen the focus from MnM right now, but 2 CTs remaining. You wouldn't expect them to win this round, but an AK has been found by Rattlesnake, so maybe he'll be able to do something with that. Has found Aaron as well. The smokes from the enemy team actually going to protect him, but immediately the rotation comes on through, and that's the beauty of Overpass. You can swap to the other side of the team, to the other side of the map, sorry, almost immediately, and oh, Jenko shuts down Rattlesnake there. Rattlesnake should have had that kill, to be quite honest. Kind of whiffed his spray somewhat. Landed the first couple of shots, but couldn't turn it into anything more. And Jenko finishes off the round with that AWP, doing a fantastic job. And, you know, Jenko is the one that they would want that AWP to be in the hands of, to be quite honest, other than maybe Kiyoshima as well. But when he manages to find that sniper, you just fully expect those shots to land, and you expect Jenko to really step up. 2 rounds on the trot now for MnM. And it's going to mean that once again, it's just pistols for Reason. Backs
against the wall. A familiar situation for Reason to be in, but not on this map. Well, it's going to be pistols, like you say, across the board. Robin being the only player with a little bit of armor and that deagle. Rattlesnake first of all as Stanley finds one in mid. His teammates now rotating on through to try and protect him and the bomb. Rom's made his way down in towards Connector, backed up, of course, by Robin. Tries to find some damage off onto Keo up on short. Does do some, but they're not going to be ready for Mole. Coming in from behind, he finds one frag. Now they do know where he is. The trade trying to come through, but he's going to find the second as well. Now it's just Rom and Cryptix find themselves in a 2 versus 4. Make that a 2-on-3 as Rom's able to find one. And Aaron Cryptix takes down Mole as well. So this has been such a back and forth round. Rom finds himself a second on the back of the AK. Stanley, 1 versus 2 now. Does get that bomb down, but he's got 2 players left for Reason Gaming left to worry about.
Rom and Cryptix turning the tables right there. Find 3 for themselves and switch things up. The double peak is going to be more than enough to win out that trade, and Rom will be able to get not only a hat-trick, but also a defuse. There is an AWP down to his right. I don't know whether he knows the position of that rifle. We'll see whether he's going to be able to run over and grab that sniper for his team. I think he is aware of it, and will be able to grab that up. So he's going to be very happy with that pickup as well. So Reason not only grab themselves around, but picking up that AWP off the back of it as well is going to be fantastic when it comes to their kind of economic welfare, because as you can see by how poor they are after that buy, they wouldn't have really been able to afford such a good buy if they hadn't managed to grab up that rifle.
Definitely not, and on the back of that as well, I mean, it does allow them to have the, now they got the AWP up on Bishop. Bit of a curious one to do. I mean, Rattlesnake is a player that you normally associate with the AWP, but he's been doing well with the rifle. It looks like that trend's going to continue. Takes down Aaron in towards mid. That's going to slow the momentum on the back of MnM. The trade doesn't come through either. Stanley does try to get it, but he's going to go down, and with him, so does the bomb. MnM now find themselves in a 3-on-5. Mole chimes in with 1. Looking to try and equalize out these numbers. Finds a second as well. That could be all they needed. Puts it back into a 3-on-3, and they recover the bomb as well. Are they going to be ready for Rom, though, who's gone on this long flank? He's coming down from behind. Makes his way through Connector. Smoke is there, though. So he doesn't have any information as to where MnM is going currently, but having him here prevents so many plays out and towards that B site. It gets a lot of information as well. He knows if they're going to be going through Connector to B. He can hear it, he can see it, and he can try his best to prevent it, but he's going to go aggressive, and well, he does find one onto Mole. As a result, bomb's going to get dropped once again. You already see Reason just tightening their grasp around this bomb in Connector.
Well, 2 terrorists still remaining. MnM not quite out of the running just yet, but Robin Nasty is going to change my statement right there. Shuts on down Jenko. And well, Keo, he's nowhere to be seen. He's over towards the A site. He's basically hunting for kills at that point. There's no way he's going to be able to retake this bomb at this stage. Swapping between his utility here. He wants to be able to make something happen, and maybe he'll try here as he looks towards Connector. I can't say I feel like this is the wisest move ever, but actually we'll be able to go for... That would have been a very stylish kill if he'd managed to find it. Nice smoke placement so he can jump over to the other end of it, but does get shut down in the end. The Reason Gaming players, are well aware of that play and shut him on down. And now double AWP coming through. Rom and Bishop both going to be holding on to those big green guns. And MnM with a bit of a sorry purchase coming through. They've got a Tech 9 and a Deagle and 2 of the players. And, you know, Jenko being one of the guys that's been relegated to just that pistol doesn't bode well for MnM.
No, not at all. And well, Rattlesnake does go aggressive, takes down Jenko early on, but it's Aaron in mid to find 2. Rattlesnake and Rom both go down. They're going to be biting the dust very early on. We can see already the rotate trying to come through from Robin. Does find 1 frag on the back of it up from Connector, puts it back to a 3-on-3. Cryptix finds a second out on a Mole. Now suddenly this whole thing's been flipped on its head. It was looking so good for MnM early on, but the trades end up going the way of Reason. And it's just, you know, MnM, they've suddenly had this situation where things have been swapped around. Suddenly they're the ones not trading favorably. They're the ones getting caught out, isolated and alone without anyone there to help them out. And once again, it's all on Keo now. 1 versus 3. We've got a lot left to find. Not much time to do it with either. The clock is counting down, and it falls into Cryptix. That's a horrible word to say. Cryptix. I can't do it. I just can't do that. Cryptix, change your name for me. He falls into his waiting arms, is the point I was trying to make. It's going to go 9-2 as Reason. They take a 7-round advantage, and they show no signs of stopping just yet.
No, absolutely not. And that's the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen MnM at the end of the round there with just Kiyoshima kind of on his own, just left out to dry by the rest of his team. He seems to be going for this sort of lone wolf playstyle right now, and it's really not paying off for him and his team. See whether they can change that moving into these next couple of rounds, but it's going to be Bishop with the AWP here. Doesn't quite find the shot onto Stanley there, but he's scouted them out. He's got that information, which often can be more important than the kills themselves. Jenko gets spotted, but again, these players from Reason not quite landed their shots as nicely as we would have hoped heading into this round. But Bishop's here to prove me wrong. Finds one, legs another. Rom is happy to chime in. Now Rattlesnake and Cryptix will rotate on over. Mole finds one, finds two for himself, using this Glock to great effect. But Rattlesnake has arrived, and Jenko's the last man remaining. Cryptix finishes him off. And well, there it is. 10th round on the scoreboard for Reason Gaming. I don't know what to say. You know, when we were looking at Mirage, I was saying this is going to be the map that's super close. This is going to be the map that Reason should be able to take, but it was just about a whitewash. Now we head on to Overpass. Looking historically, looking at these two teams, this should be MnM running away with things. Yeah. This should be a one-sided map in favor of MnM, but Reason are having none of it. I feel like all of my research is just going out the window.
Yeah, well, that is just the way of it. It's the caster's curse, and it's going to be coming up in favor of Reason Gaming. Once again, they find 3 frags very early on, leaving it all in the hands of Mole and Jenko. If there's 2 players you'd want in this situation, it would be these 2. But I mean, they've still got 3 kills left to find before they can even equalize things out. They do have the bomb. There's a little bit of a silver lining here. Tiny bit of utility as well. 2 smokes and a flash to try and force something onto one of these sites. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. So plenty of time to play around with. They just don't really have the manpower to make things work. A lot of it is going to come down to Mole with that AWP to try and open things up on towards the A site. We can see currently 2 players for the side of Reason here to hold this one down. Cryptix and Bishop going to be the players to hold this one off. Mole getting boosted, might be able to spot something out. They can hear the AWP chiming in over towards A. He's going to get spotted out, but he finds the frag. Mole takes down Bishop. Maybe a bit of an error to peek out, but it's Robin on the flank. Could potentially be the linchpin into this round for Reason Gaming as well, they're making their way down long. They don't hear him as he just sprints fully up behind, finds the first, looking for the second, doesn't want to go too aggressive. Pop flashes himself out, doesn't hit Mole. Would have liked, going to go again, and while the dual peek should be coming in, Mole able to find one, not going to get punished for it just yet. But he's still got 3 frags left to find for the side of Reason. And I mean, only 24 seconds left. It's not looking good. To
be honest, right there, I would have liked to see Robin go a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he went for the first kill. He'd heard the sniper scope already, so they knew that there was an AWPer there. He got the first kill. You know that the guy at the front is not going to be the AWPer, so you know that it's your 1v1 against an AWP. If you just get up close and personal, you're in good odds to just win out that duel instead of kind of trying to play it a little bit slower and just basically play on whether or not Mole has good reactions, because we know for a fact that he does. It is going to be, though, Reason taking the round. I don't want to criticize too harshly. They did manage to take it, and, you know, Robin Nasty did shut down that push coming out from the flank. And also, let's just bear in mind, Robin Nasty is 21-6 right now, so I don't really want to go too hard on the guy. He is the reason that Reason are managing to do so well here on Overpass. But MnM really, really struggling here. 2 away from the end of this first half, and it is 11-2. What a scoreline from Reason. And I mean, when you look at the first 2 maps here, how are we looking at this scoreline? 11-2. It's not even like Reason are managing to somehow overturn MnM. They are dominating.
Yeah, and you know that you're getting very animated back here. I do wish people can see. I mean, clearly it is a very confusing map. I don't know how it is they're doing it, but Bishop going to find one early on. The trade's ultimately going to be going the way of MnM, though. Rom does manage to equalize things back out in a 3-on-3, but I mean, ultimately, still looking like this could go the way of Reason here. They find a little bit of damage out of Stanley. Saying that Mole with that AWP, proving he's a force to be reckoned with, takes down Rom out towards long. And now we can see this B plate coming underway. It's all going to be on Cryptix to try and hold down the fort. He's alone. No one there to trade. He's probably scared. And, well, Aaron finds him on the back of the Galil. It's all going to be on Rattlesnake. And, oh! Mole's going to take his head off. So it's going to go 11-3. So MnM, they do manage to pick up another round on the board. The thing is, they've only managed to get 3, and that's a testament in itself. Reason doing phenomenally well. It's almost like Keo. Keo and Robin have just swapped seats for the time being. Keo on 4 frags right now, and Robin on 21-7. He's doing phenomenally well.
Yeah, he certainly is. And, I mean, even if Reason lose this round right now, they've got a slightly less favourable buy, aside from the Galil, but realistically, this one still could go either way. But even if Reason lose this one, 11-4, that's a fantastic halftime score for Reason. And, you know, you would expect the CT side to do well here on Overpass. Not to the scoreline of 11-4, though. You'd expect like a 9-6, maybe a 10-5. But when you... each and every one of those increments means so much more. It's not just a 1-score difference, it's kind of 2 rounds difference. So it can just make or break a scoreline here. Reason certainly looking like favourites, but you can never really count out this MnM squad. They're going to be looking to just get whatever they can together in this final round of the first half. Looks like A site is going to be the choice though.
Yeah, Rattlesnake over towards Long, trying to find one, does take down Aaron. It's Kyo to find two though, takes down Robin, and Bishop in towards the A site. It's going to be a 2 versus 3. The man advantage going the way of Reason, but Kyo is pushing over towards Long, going to find a frag on the back of it. That's 3. Perhaps he could hear us saying that, you know, he's had a bit of a quiet game. Now he's stepping up once again. 3 frags to his name currently into this round. Very much the player trying to drive this one home. It's Rom on the flank, going to be the biggest threat to them right now. They've also got to worry about Cryptix, who's over towards stairs, trying to make his presence known, but sadly it's going to be signaled to the aggressively pushed up Kiyoshima. And well, Mol, he finds Rom out and towards the site. Cryptix unaware and alone. It's going to get taken down. It's going to go 11-4 as MnM, they do find another one just to try and stave away the danger of an anti-eco around match point, which is exactly what they've done. Because now, Reason, if they go ahead and they win the pistol and they get their respective anti-ecos, it's only going to, at most, go to a 14-4 scoreline. So they have that 1 round buffer before they arrive at match point, which is a little thing, but you know, it is still a silver lining nonetheless. And a team like MnM is a team that can come back from something like this.
Absolutely. Well, the second half is already underway, so let's head straight back onto the map here. As you rightly say, 11-4 is the scoreline at the end of that first half. Now we're going to see Reason on that more aggressive T side. Looks like B side is going to be the call here. Stanley's going to spot them out, but can't find any headshots to kick things off right now. And Aaron as well, unfortunately unable to connect those bullets. Rom will go down the clothesline there, but Rattlesnake has got round behind them. Aggressive play coming out, and it's paying dividends right now. Cryptix gets tagged, but will stay alive, and it's 3 versus 3. Kyo can't quite find his targets. They need to get this bomb down while they can, though, because Mole is on the flank, and they're looking to turn this in favor of these CTs, but it's 2 versus 2. Nice shot from Rattlesnake, but Jenko chimes in. And now, 1 versus 1. Cryptix up against Jenko. Both of these players have been stellar on this map, and it is going to be Cryptix peeking on out. Doesn't find the headshot, though, and Jenko shuts him down. MnM, to be honest, winning a round that they had no right to. Their first 2 kills went the way of Reason, but they just couldn't get the bomb down.
Yeah, and not getting that bomb down is going to hurt them greatly. They could have been with a shot of going for the, you know, the round 18 buy, but instead they are going to have to try and try and just force the issue on MnM. We are going to be seeing, however, SMGs across the board not opting to go for some sort of, you know, safe rifle buy. They just want to try and farm up as much money as they can. At close range, though, I would actually favor these pistols over what we're seeing on the side of MnM. Kyo is going to get forced out of mid, but these nades doing so much damage. They're able to find 1 frag as the frags go back and forth, put it into a 4-on-4. A nade out from Aaron could find a lot. It's going to be 2 frags for him there. He's still on site with the UMP as well. Want to try raining some more death down, but it's Robin to get the return. 2 versus 3. The man advantage going the way of MnM as they rotate through that B site up towards A. Once again, Reason very lackadaisical and trying to get this bomb down. Haven't opted to do it just yet. Slowing down the pace. And as a result, MnM have had more than enough time to rotate through onto this A site. They're trying to go for a double fake here.
I absolutely love this strategy coming out from MnM. They're just like, you know what? We'll all go with SMGs. It's a cheaper buy for us. They are going to finish off the round, obviously, but it's a cheaper buy for us, but also it means all of us can go for a high explosive grenade and literally play a full-on basketball just try and dunk the opponents. And they absolutely do. Aaron managed to get himself a double with a singular grenade right there. So fantastic stuff coming out from MnM. And well, Reason, again, having to go for the full eco here, just P250s to work with. But you wouldn't really expect them to be pulling anything out on this round specifically. But next round, they will be able to go for that full by Kyo. Going to push on forwards, has that SMG to just take their head straight off of Bishop. Cryptix still hanging around here, maybe looking to try and capitalize if someone gets a little bit too trying to think of the word that I'm going for, just stupid, I guess, and goes down there carelessly. But all in all, this should be a fairly simple round to pick up for MnM. They will still be down a few rounds, but they're starting to close that gap.
Yeah, now only 5 rounds, the difference between them and Reason Gaming. Well, looking to try and pick this one up as well as Kyo finds a second. That's $1,200 he's managed to farm himself already on the back of that UMP. Well, Aaron out towards B long, chimes in with one of his own, showing that he can find frags with the SMGs as well. Gets a second, and then Mole saves his life from short. not losing a single player on the side of MnM and farming up a lot of money to try and play around with. 2 players there getting a nice $1,200 bonus is not too shabby. It's going to go 11-7. 4 rounds of difference now between these two teams, and Reason Gaming finally with a bye on the cards.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, when you actually look at things, when you consider the fact that there's a couple of UMPs in the hands of these MnM players, you always want to say that this should go the way of Reason. They have the superior buy at this stage, and Rattlesnake going to prove that as he finds one headshot to start things off, and they're going to turn it into more if they can, starting to push on towards this B site, but a nice little molly will slow things down here, and Stanley going to smoke off that lower tunnel. But certainly Reason still in the driver's seat right now. They can choose to rotate. They don't have to commit to this B site. So a lot of utility used just to slow down the push here. And as you can see, only flashes remaining for MnM. So this actually is going to turn into a very difficult hold for them.
Yeah, definitely. So you are left with Jenko as well, alone over towards Toilets. Does spot out that player in the form of Robin, making his way up connector, and as a result falls back passively onto the site. Buys time as well for Keo to rotate on up. Well, he's going to be there to back him up if it comes down to it. Reason right now, 4 players slowly but surely making their way through mid over towards this A site. They leave Robin connector to try and watch for the rotate, try and pick off any players. Try to go on the lurk from behind. We are going to be seeing right now what looks to be an A-take coming into fruition. Nades making their way through. Flashes just raining on down. Jenko can't see anything. Finally going to wear off. Finds one. Finds a second. Looking for the third. But Cryptix is there to trade things back. Keo able to get 1, but that's going to be it, as ultimately he gets taken down. It's going to be a 1 versus 2 though. And Mole at the end with the UMP. Once again, a little bit more money in his pocket to cement his role as the sugar daddy on the side of MnM. Look at him, $10,000. That's impressive.
Yeah, and that is a round that should have gone the way of Reason. They had the man advantage. They had the rifles to work with as well, and end up losing out to the UMP of Mole. Grabs himself 2 headshots at the end with that SMG, and as you rightly say, nets himself a whole lot of cash to work with. I mean, MnM have been stacking up bank to fall back on, even if they start to lose rounds here. They've got 9,000 still remaining in the hands of Mole. They've got 5,000 as well on Keo. They are going to be comfortable even in a loss right now. P250's coming out, but Jenko shuts one of them down already. And now Reason just going to go for a fast play up long. They're going to try and storm the A site if they possibly can.
Yeah, right now all 4 remaining members of Reason Gaming over towards long, and it's just going to be a bit of a turkey shoot here as Jenko primed and ready with that AWP is going to be the player to try and face off against them. Rifles rotating on through as well to help him hold the fort. You can see the aggression coming out from Reason Gaming. They're going to try and make their way down through bank, but Mole is going to be wiser. Takes down Robin, and Jenko finds 2, looking for a third, and he gets it. That's going to be 4 for him in total that round, 3 on the push. And he almost single-handedly just locks that down, firing like some sort of, I don't know, railgun from behind truck, just taking them down as they try to go for the aggression. And I mean, at that range, you would expect the P250s to potentially be the thing prevailing. Sorry, there were a lot of P's in that sentence. Oh my
Certainly
god.
Were.
Yeah, but you know,
there was a lot more after Easter.
Yeah. He comes up trumps and does find it.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be a buy on the cards once again for the side of Reason. You've got the AWP up on Rattlesnake to try and change the pace, and 4 rifles for them to play around with.
Well, I've got to say as well, in that round, I thought that maybe the bomb could have gone down for Reason. They impressed me with the smoke play that they went for. They actually got themselves onto the site using only the P250, so really strong use of that utility, but in the end, it wasn't quite enough to actually get them the round or even the plant on the board. And Mole finding himself a nice little spot to say site with, but all things considered, still a very neutral round so far. Neither team really able to get too much of an advantage. Keo looking for the wallbang, but won't be able to find it. And that's going to be a nice bit of communication. Communicates to his team that he's going for this wallbang. He's going to distract the player. Come on round now, get that peek and get that headshot.
A nice bit of communication indeed. Rattlesnake, though, going to be the player to return things back into a 4-on-4 as he takes down Jenko. Coming up, comes in that AWP duel. Going to put it back into the equal number territory here. And you can see Reason Gaming trying to execute something out on towards A. Smoke's going down, but Aaron's going to push the agenda. Takes down Rattlesnake as he makes his way through the smoke, and it's going to be a 3-on-4. The man advantage going back in favor of MnM, leaving Mole alone over towards B to try and hold down the fort. He's going to fall. Stanley rotating back on through now, trying to push up, takes down Rom, and he's going to be all that stands between Reason and this B site, waiting for the remnants of his team to try and make their way on towards this B site. They do get there, but it's Cryptix to fight too. Now it's all on Keo. He's got a lot of work left to do. Just time to do it in. Bomb's going to go down. He tries making his way onto the site, but Robin's going to find him. It's going to go 12-9. As Reason Gaming, they pick up a much-needed round once again.
Yeah, and I've got to say Cryptic's looking absolutely crisp in that round. Really nice couple of headshots coming through, and then, you know, at the end of the round, Robin Nasty just staying strong here. He's 26-13 and finishes off that kill. You can just trust him at this point to be getting these kills in these rounds. But as you rightly say, Reason desperately needing that round, but now they've got themselves in a tricky situation where if MnM can manage to pull this one out, Reason are looking at not just an equalizer in terms of they'll win the next couple of rounds, but also they're looking like they're going to have no cash to work with whatsoever. 1-for-1 so far in this round, as we're looking towards this B site. Rom going to be the one to push in forwards. Rattlesnake going to be holding connector right now, waiting for someone to try and roam around that way. But here we go. The push is on, and Robin Nasty going to be looking to try and plant this bomb. The molly goes down, but the bomb does get down before Robin Nasty's burnt to a crisp. Will be able to walk away as well, but they're running out of players right now. Keo's flanking from the back, throws a grenade, but he's not quite going to be able to find Cryptic. Stanley is on the site, though. He's going to be trying to find his way through the smoke and gets one to spray on down. Here's Rom, last man remaining. He's got to try and protect that plant, but Keo's not going to allow it to happen. And MnM, not only do they get the round, but they get to shut down the economy of Reason.
Yeah, it's going to go 12-10, and that round was incredibly interesting to say the least. I think it was one that Reason really should have had, and I was thinking going into the retake, they've got, what was it, a one-man advantage, two-man advantage as they headed on through, and they had a nice afterplant setup as well. I mean, you had, what, I believe it was Rattlesnake? Rattlesnake lurking in towards the connector area. He was kind of the player to try and hold the fort. Watch out for any sort of flanks coming on through. As he falls, they completely lose the position. They don't know where any of the other players are. And whilst we head in this one, they try going aggressive out towards feed, change the pace, and it's worked for them. Robin has to be able to find one, as does Bishop. It's all going to be on Aaron to try and hold the fort. Finds one, but that's going to be it as Robin gets his second. It's all on Keo and Mole here. 2 versus 4. They've got an AWP and an AK to try and play around with. Is it going to be enough, though? Because they've got a lot of members of Reason left to try and find not much information.
Look at Rom here, hiding around the corner, and will be able to capitalize because of it. Fantastic position from him. And I love this from Reason. They go, you know what? We've got Tech9 to work with. What are Tech9's great at? Rushing B. Let's go do that and just take the heads clean off of their opponents. And MnM left wondering what went wrong in this round. Mole still has an AWP to work with. He'll be able to take this into the next round. I don't think anyone's going to be able to find him quick enough to shut him down. And we'll be able to hold on to that rifle, but a fantastic round, all things considered, for Reason Gaming. And slowly but surely, they're starting to whittle down this buffer that we saw MnM build towards the start of this half. And, you know, these full buys are going to have to come on through for MnM. If they lose out on this round, they're actually going to be strapped for cash. And there was still rifles to work with. There were still players alive at the end of the round for Reason. So they're the ones now actually in a good position in terms of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny. I remember before this, I was talking to the guys on the analyst desk, and I said, MnM, we all kind of agree you should definitely win this one. And I said, but now that I've said that, Reason Gaming are going to be the ones to win it, because it's always the opposite of what I say. And it's looking like that could potentially be the case. I mean, it's 13-10 right now. Like you say, if Reason win this, then MnM, they're going to be forced onto the back foot. They're going to have to eco or force buy up into the next round to try and delay their fate. Well, currently we can see Reason trying to exert some pressure out in towards mid. It's worked previously. Will it work again? Keo in a nice boost here over towards Toilets, trying to spot out these players. No one walking into his crosshair just yet. Going to do some damage out on a Cryptics, but that's about it. Doesn't really get much more in the back of that. It does give away the position as well of the MnM gaming players. Well, it's actually Mole to find the first out towards long. Takes down Robin Nasty, puts the man advantage going away of MnM, and also just delays this push. You can see Reason, they lose their guy over towards long. The momentum slowed right down. They're lining up their smokes, but even now they're thinking about, hey, is that really going to be the site they want to be going for?
Certainly doesn't feel like it right now, because they've already lost one player trying to make that one happen. Mole's still going to have that sniper to work with. But Bishop's starting to push very aggressively up here, but Keo is waiting for them, hiding in the smoke, and might be able to make something happen, but he gets spotted out. Will get traded though. Mole finds another one for himself, gets shut down by Rom. Jenko chimes in, but another trade comes on through. This is fantastic by Reason. Every time they lose a player, they trade the kill immediately, but also they started the chain, so they get the advantage in the end. And now 2 versus 2, Aaron and Stanley on the retake. Cryptic's going to be waiting there and finds a headshot onto Stanley. Rom is going to be the last one remaining though. Aaron has to go for the defuse right now. Doesn't actually know quite where the bomb is. Goes for the fake, but Rom is not fooled on this one. And Rom, all he has to do is play this safe. He just has to hide. Wait for this defuse to come on through. And he will go for the peek in the end. And Aaron gets the better of him. In the end, it is going to be Aaron managing to take that one. MnM back on the scoreboard. But we're going back and forth here in these rounds. And
Yeah.
we were talking about economic resets and things between the two teams, but when you have close rounds like this where everybody's going down, and if you pass these back and forth, you end up in a position where both teams are force buying.
Yeah, I mean, the other issue that we are seeing with this back and forth style of play, it does naturally benefit the T side. It's just cheaper to buy. You can get the bomb plant as well for an extra $800. MnM, they don't have any sort of leeway in that regard. If things keep going back and forth, we're going to see their economy start to dry out. Reason they'll have slightly more to go into this, potentially pick up a few more rifles if we end up in the situation like you were saying, where you are trying to force up behind it. I mean, we can already see Kyo, he's been relegated down to the Mag 7, so he's playing deep into connector. And, you know, everyone else on the side of Reason, they've got rifles across the board. Good bit of utility as well. MnM, well, they've only got flashes left once again.
Mag 7 as well in the hands of Kiyoshima. That could be a big factor if we can find those crucial kills. Does get you a lot of money. Cryptics pushing forwards. This is the opportunity for him. Tags the player, but can't actually really do too much else. Jenko chimes in though, and there's one coming through. Headshot as well as Mole grabbing one. Rattlesnake suddenly finds himself alone, and I don't think there's a whole lot he can do with just this AK to work with. Kyo still there. He's managed to find himself a rifle of his own. He's just going to be waiting for Rattlesnake to sneak on through, to slither on down, and we'll be able to finish him off. A couple of bullets into the body, and that is going to be a kill going the way of Kyo. Now we're almost at an equalizer at this point. 13-12 is the scoreline after an unbelievably one-sided first half. Reason are really struggling on this T side.
Yeah, now we are going to be seeing their economy being fairly weak. They do get the AK up on Robin. Good utility across the board, but it is going to be a force to try and prevent the equalizer from coming in. They are once again going to be opting for this B rush. It's worked once. Is it going to work again? Mole with the AWP in hand has to try and hold this one down. He gets caught there with a nade out. He's going to burn to death. And, well, I don't know how good cooked Mole is, but I guess we're going to be finding out. It's actually Aaron to find two, though. Slows down this push. Looking for a third. Aaron, what are you doing? This shouldn't be allowed. He's still so much of a threat, and it's going to be Kyo to find the last on a Rom. They get the bomb down, but that is going to be it. It's going to go to a 13-13 scoreline. It's MnM. They equalize things out.
Yeah, the worst part about that right there was Aaron was completely flashed, but so was his opponent. I didn't quite spot out who it was, but someone on Reason flashed their teammate right there, and it meant that Aaron was able to survive that initial push, and it had to be those first few bullets that finished off that kill. Because he survived long enough, he was able to get the counter frag onto the guy that was pushing him. But at the worst possible moment, we saw a second player drop down just as Aaron had opened up his throttle and started to spray on down, and that was more than enough to take out the round in the end for MnM. They slowed and stopped that push. Good use of grenades as well to tag out those players. And Jenko finding one onto Rattlesnake, but immediately traded back by Bishop here, and it's 4 versus 4 here. Desert Eagle and a Tech 9 for Rom and Cryptics. We'll see what they're going to be able to achieve with those weapons, but they're up against the rifles from these CTs. Bishop gets a second one, but Kyo's not having any of that. Now 3 versus 3. We'll see what MnM can do with these rifles. They should be able to hold this theoretically, but Rom's found himself an M4 to work with as well. Kyo all alone right now. The rest of the team starting to rotate over towards this A site, but they got to get here quickly. Stanley still hanging around B. Doesn't really want to commit just yet. Robin Nasty as well, going to be peeking his head over. Kyo can't quite connect the shots and will end up going down. Aaron finds 2 once again though. Aaron is being this miracle worker for the likes of MnM. He is pulling this team around, and he's looking to take a 14th round right now. The equalizer was already found, but Cryptics with an AK, if he can be that marksman that he absolutely has to be, maybe they can still put this one on the board. But this is all or nothing right now for Reason Gaming. Already 2-0 down in this series. Aaron just waiting. He wants another hat trick, and you can see that as he's going to take the hat clean off of Cryptic's head. And that's the 14th round for MnM Gaming. And they are 2 away from taking this map. A map that, in all honesty, after the first half, they have no right to.
Yeah, they've had a phenomenal comeback here in the second half. Reason, they've been struggling a little bit, to say the least. Once again, force buying. I tell you what, they fell into this pattern of just forcing every single round, and it's gotten to the point now where they have so little utility, they have so little firepower heading into it. It's almost like they're just being fed through the meat grinder relentlessly, trying to get the same situation with the same sort of underpowered weapons, the same lack of utility, and expecting a different outcome. And it just hasn't been working for them. And well, as we head into this, the pattern of repetitive force buying, something that we see can be the downfall of a lot of these big teams, is looking like it could potentially rear its ugly head once again. 13-14 now, and you think, I mean, if they'd ecoed all those rounds ago, it could be a completely different story right now. But they're going to be trying to make their way out on towards B, fast and aggressive as per usual. Stanley trying to hold things down, does get taken out in the process. It's going to be Aaron to find too, but he's finally stopped.
Yeah, and we do see that these trades going evenly, but you've got to assume that that goes the way of the people that have forced up in the end. They're managing to pick up those rifles as well, but actually Robin Nasty and Rattlesnake, both of them, still with those pistols. They've not actually got any firepower to work with. Jenko, CZ in hand, he's going to try and shut down Rattlesnake, who is going to be there with a Tech 9 and finds a headshot for himself. Keo arrives on the scene, but he's got an AWP and a pistol to work with. I don't know if that's really going to be enough right now. Will pin down Rattlesnake, but he's not able to go for that shot, and actually Rattlesnake's found himself an AWP of his own. Keo maybe needs to just bail from this one because the bomb's about to go off, but he's not done just yet. The Frenchman arrives on the scene, gets the CZ kill, and he'll get the defuse as well. Kiyoshima, ladies and gentlemen, gets the hat-trick and gets match point right now for MnM Gaming.
That was insane. He had no business taking that round. It was a 1 versus 2. We were both saying the AWP, less than ideal weapon to have in that situation, but he makes it work, finds the first frag, switching it out to the CZ, and then manages to get the second and the defuse as well. I can't even fathom how much that is going to tilt the side of Reason, because I tell you what, I'd be full on, we're talking 150 degrees. It's a disaster right now. We can see it's going to be rifles across the board. They do get the plant, but that is the only little bit of consolation they get. MnM, they've got to be riding on a high. Well, Reason, if anything, I would say they're at the lowest of lows.
Certainly not a fun situation. They've got AKs though. Maybe they can make this round work for themselves, but not pushing too aggressively this time. Going to favor this B site once again though. So it's going to be Bishop that's nowhere near at this point, but 3 CTs going to be hanging around. They are ready for this push. A lot of utility being burnt here as Reason try and find their way onto this site, just edging forward slowly but surely here. I've got to say, in that last round, I had a moment of horror where I saw that it was just Keo remaining, and I didn't want to say maybe he can do it. I didn't want to hype the guy up too much, and then he just pulls that out of the bag. Like, I mean, what a play coming out from the Frenchman. But, and it was such a crucial round as well. That would have been the equalizer.
Yeah, that would have been the equalizer. And now Reason, they have to try and come back from this. The mentality is going to be completely ruined. 35 seconds left to try and make something happen here. Stanley's going to start things off, though, gives the advantage over to MnM early. And well, Aaron, he's been such a problem, but this time doesn't find anything as Robin finds 2 nice entry frags onto the site, turns it back in favor of Reason. They're not ready to give up just yet. But it's Jenko coming on through to equalize things out. Does take down Rattlesnake. Robin's only on 9 HP as well, and he's playing a very close angle here. It's not going to be looking too great as they make their way on towards the B site. Bomb is ticking down. Stanley going to fall to the AK on Rom. He finds himself 2. Keo there to get the return frag. They find himself in a 1-on-3. Makes it a 1-on-2 as he takes down Robin. And now it's Cryptix versus Keo. And, well, Cryptix, he's got to be having flashbacks here. It's not going to be looking good. Keo goes aggressive on towards short. He's got the AWP in hand. Keo is going to get taken down. Cryptix, he remains steadfast. He doesn't falter, and he finds the frag. It's going to go 14-15. And this is as close as it gets. We're going to be going the full 30 rounds.
I love that in chat from Cryptix. Pros don't fake onto Keo right there. Pushes aggressively with the AWP, and I've got to say, I'm not sure my heart can take this out of Keo. Nearly gets the 3K. Pushes aggressively with the AWP. Had he got that, if he'd got that 1v3 to win out the map for MnM, that would have just been unbelievable. And Reason now, they have the advantage. 2 players on the lineup of MnM with just pistols here. This should go to overtime. But we've said that rounds should go certain ways. We've said that maps should go certain ways, and it has not been the case. Reason with an advantage here. They should be able to eke this one out, but MnM are not going to go down without a fight. Looks like, again, favouring this B site, but, I don't want to call anything before it's actually happened here. They definitely still have the ability to rotate. This is, of course, overpass. You can very quickly swap which side of the map you're going to, so long as you can get control of that middle area. But we'll see where they opt to go with this one. Just a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, they've got Bishop in towards the connector. He's, of course, going to be the player scouting out, allowing for the fast and fluid rotate if that is what they desire. And, well, I mean, as they have cleared it out, they may as well try and use it to their advantage. They're not gaining much leeway in towards this B site. Right now, they're still biding their time, but with only 35 seconds left, they've got to try and do something. Aaron's going to go down. Rattlesnake does find him. A good flash to start things off. Stanley able to get one, but that's going to be it. Mole alone on the site, hiding in the smoke. Got to try and force the agenda here. Jumps on top of the boxes, but he's going to get taken down. It's a 2 versus 3. Keo able to find one. He's still alive and deadly. It's going to be Jenko. Takes down a player with a deagle in the form of Rattlesnake. But it's all on Keo. 1 versus 2. He's done it once. He's nearly done it twice. He's looking to try and cement that. The Clutch King trying to make this one work. Time is ticking down. He spots out Robinasty, but he gets the frag. It's going to go 15-15, and we are going to be seeing overtime.
Yes,
Rom burns to death at the end.
I was having like PTSD flashbacks when I saw once again it's Keo going for the 2v1 on that B side, but in the end, we're going to overtime. Reason Gaming have managed to take it to MnM. And I've got to say, I feel like going to overtime really, it's a good thing for Reason right now. Just because, I mean, first of all, if this half had gone on any longer, I don't think they could have pulled it out. Just because the CT side, or their T side, sorry, seems a lot weaker than their CT side. However, that second half seemed a lot closer between the two squads. And we'll see whether it's going to make a difference here. Reason going to be starting off on the T side here on overtime. Up against MnM, obviously, on that more defensive CT half. And again, we see Reason immediately heading over towards this B side. They're definitely far more comfortable.
Oh,
Robinasty!
What was that?
You guys didn't see that on stream, but he wallbanged that. It was on my laptop. He wallbanged that straight across from spawn. That was just disgusting. And that is exactly what Reason need to find their way onto this scoreboard.
Once again, it was so savage. We just can't show that on TV. So we have to skip over. As a result, though, the man advantage could be going the way of Reason off the bat. And like you say, that's exactly what they need to start things off. MnM having to try and play with this man disadvantage. The only kind of diamond in the rough is Keo being pushed up here. Finds one on a Rom, equalizes things back out into a 4-on-4, and now they have a player on the long flank. Stanley over towards short, just biding his time, waiting for them to take the site, allowing his team to rotate on through. Doesn't want to be dying to any sort of suicide mission just yet. Smoke going down on short is going to completely lock down that angle. The bomb is ticking away. They have to try and take this back. Bomb timer ticking down, and time is in short supply, but it's Aaron and Jenko to find some frags. Bishop and Cryptics to try and return, put it back into a 2-on-2. Keo and Stanley, the players for MnM, to try and retake this site. Stanley making his way in through short, Keo through long. The crossfire is going to be in their favor as Bishop falls on back, leaving Cryptics kind of having to be the linchpin into this round. Keo spots him out! Keo, what was that? You're insane! Stop no-scoping, people. Stop doing incredible things. It's all on Bishop. He's able to get one, but he can't get Stanley. He was defusing. Keo was the problem.
Keo, I mean, we were calling him out in the first half of this map. We were calling Keo out, saying, you know, he's not able to get anything on the board. He's really being kind of a weight for MnM here on Overpass. But now he is topping the scoreboard, 29 kills. He's catching up to Robinasty at this stage, who we've been harping on about how Robinasty has been pulling an absolute blinder here on Overpass. MnM start off with a fantastic beginning to the game right there. Kiyoshima, as when we get to these tense moments, it just doesn't faze him. He's able to pull it out time and time again. Rattlesnake going to open this one up with one between the eyes of Aaron. And now, advantage very firmly in the hands of Reason Gaming. That's 2 for them. Kiyoshima is dead. Maybe that's all they need to actually take around here.
Maybe indeed. They do manage to get one back in the form of Jenko. He finds Bishop, but it is going to go untraded currently. The man advantage still going the way of Reason. But as Jenko finds a second out on a Rattlesnake, they completely forego any smidge of advantage they had. Mole in towards that B site, takes down Robin, looking for a second, does do good damage out on a Cryptics, but it's going to fall. It's a 2-on-2 now. Reason, that nade is going to mess Cryptics up. He's going to fall as Stanley takes him down. Now it's all on Rom, 1 versus 2. He's making his way in over towards B, has pushed up long. They don't know that he's there just yet, as they are watching short currently. Trying to take things nice and passively, just waiting until they know what's up. And as he scouts his site, it's not going to be looking good. If they go for the peek here, he could potentially get caught out, but it's not going to be the case. 30 seconds left, and they're taking this very passively. Just want to try and play for the trades. Don't want to give any just open door of opportunity for Rom to stick his foot in, but he's going to find one. Looking for the second. It's Jenko to trade things out. He's going to go down. Jenko on the hat trick. And it's going to be the 17th round going the way of MnM Gaming.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Reason right now. We said that this T-half was their weaker side, and MnM very much proving that point. Jenko finding 3 for himself in that round. And again, we see around the Reason. They had the advantage. They had 2 men up on their opponents, but just not able to finish things out. And I've got to say, one thing about this game so far, we've seen our fair share of grenade kills here on Overpass. There's been so many high explosives used very effectively by these teams just to finish off these low players. I feel like at this point, if you're low on this map, you've got to be cautious about where you're walking, because that communication is definitely there, and they are willing to go for those plays. But once again, we head over to a default split here from Reason. So they're looking to try and grab some information and maybe grab a couple of headshots as Bishop opens things up.
Yeah, that's the start that Reason needed. Once again, taking the man advantage. Issue is, they've almost got, no, they have got the man advantage every single time early on. It hasn't led to much. They take the 2-man advantage off the back as Aaron and Keo both fall. Now they're 2 standout players for the side of MnM. And once Bishop to find the post, Mole is able to return things back. Put it into the 3-on-4, just opts to stand in the Molotov for a bit as well, giving Reason that handicap that
It's getting a bit chilly.
they need. Yeah, it was, but there we go. Things are heating up, just like Mole found out. It's going to be the 3 versus 4, Stanley in towards B. I don't think he got spotted out there. Could potentially do some damage, but now they know where he is. The information can be relayed across to Reason. Doesn't matter because he's lining them up and knocking them down. Finally, the trade comes through. Jenko and Mole rotating it towards this B site. Have to try and find quite a few frags between them. It's all going to fall on a Mole now. 1 versus 3. He finds one. He finds the second on that nade, but Cryptic's just able to trade things out. Reason, they get 1 out of the 3 rounds.
And to be honest, heading onto the CT side, that's really not a bad result for them. That's actually as good as I would have hoped for Reason right there, because now on this CT side, this is the half that we expect Reason to do very well on. If they can win these 3 rounds, they are going to be able to take this map in the end, and they're going to be able to push this into at very least 5 games in a best of 7. But I got to say, like, one thing you mentioned during that round was, you know, they took out Kiyoshima and they took out Aaron towards the start. You were saying, you know, these are 2 of the massive heavy hitters on the side of MnM. But actually, when you look at the roster, whoever it is out of those 5 players going into a 2v1, you're still like, this guy can do this.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you
definitely.
fully believe in these 2 players, or in these 5 players, sorry. But Aaron completely pinned down here in mid. It looks like he wants to go for the peak. He's revving his engines, stepping back and forth, and actually does get a nice little headshot onto Rattlesnake there. So a little bit too aggressive there from Rattlesnake down bottom mid. Maybe should have just held the angle instead of pressing the issue, but now it's going to be MnM who've managed to grab themselves a little bit of an advantage to work with.
Yeah, first time we've seen them start off with the man advantage in quite some time, and while they're looking to try and capitalize on that, making their way over towards this A site, it's only Robin and Bishop to hold this one down. Bishop all the way over towards Long does mean no one's there to trade for Robin. And with the early rotate looking like it was going to come off B, but then Keo being there just to deny it, throwing that single grenade into the site means that those 2 players that were so confident about rotating back up on towards that A site, which we know could have been potentially the right call to make, now actually end up doubling back. But it's actually MnM trying to sell this as a bit of a double fake. And Aaron, he's going to go down over towards Long. The man advantage returned back into a neutral state, 4-on-4, and while the push underway and out towards B, Cryptic's looking like he was going to try rotating off, but now instead realizing that maybe he should stay where the bomb is. Goes back down in towards that B site. Push is underway, and he's gone very aggressive. Rom finds a first, finds a second as well. Mole's there to trade things out, but it's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Reason, and Cryptic's, he finds the last 2. That's all he needed to do. And it's going to go 17-17.
Interesting that he didn't pick up the AWP at the end there. Reason basically saying, you know what, forget sniping. It's not been working out for us today. We've seen multiple times that both Rom and Rattlesnake have been kind of whiffing shots just a little bit. And I like this decision. Like, you know, at the end of the day, if it's not working out, instead of just trying to go for it again, just say, you know what, screw that. Let's just go rifles. Let's just play what we know we're doing well at, and let's play to our strengths. They found themselves an equalizer, and now they've got to turn it into more. MnM with another rifle buy, though. This is overtime, so they do get a decent amount of cash to start off with, but if they lose this one as well, they're going to be in very scary territory. Fairly standard start, though, coming out from MnM. Slow-paced, but looking towards maybe this A site. Still got connected to their right, though, so we don't really have to commit too much of anything right now.
Yeah, they're just spreading out, trying to grab as much map control as they can, and if a pick presents itself, that is what they're going to be trying to go off. And right now, Reason not going to give them any avenue of approach just yet, but we're going to see, they've got a decent amount of map control over towards this A site. Stanley nearly spots out Bishop there as he tries to jump through the smoke, but just falling on back. Very passive hold here coming out from Reason. Almost passive-aggressive. They play up in towards the toilets, but now fall on back to the site. Just trying to delay the push, slow down the momentum for the side of MnM. With only 40 seconds left, they have to try and think about doing something sooner rather than later to leave themselves with enough time. Bishop spots out one out towards long, and as he spots a couple in towards mid as well, it should be obvious that A is the site on the cards here. You can already see the guys should be getting a bit antsy, trying to go for the rotate, and they're both making their way up now. The push is underway. Jenko is going to get taken down as Bishop finds him. Aaron able to trade things back into a 4-4. Jenko tries, Bishop tries going aggressive over towards long, but is going to get taken down. It's Rattlesnake in the smoke. Could have made the difference there, but he's going to get traded out. It's a 2-on-2. Make that a 1-on-2 as Aaron. He's lining them up and knocking them down. It's Mole to finish things off, 17-18. And while I think we could potentially see a second, a double overtime here.
Yeah, we absolutely could. There is the money to go for another buy here for Reason. They've got to throw some weapons around, but they will be able to make it happen. MnM off the back of that win should be able to go for a full rifle buy as well. This time, though, they're changing things up. It's Bishop who's going with the AWP. We've been seeing that in the hands of Rattlesnake and Rob throughout the day, but Bishop deciding he wants to step up here. He wants to be the one to make this happen. Unfortunately, he's glass cannon, so the second he gets tagged there, his aim punch just ruins everything and he has to back away. He's now tagged and will just have to fall back to the toilets, to the defense of the rest of his team. A couple of good tags, though, coming out onto MnM right now. So Aaron and Keo fairly low once again. And you can tell who the more aggressive players are for MnM, because it's always Keo and Aaron who are trying to go for those entry frags, but also, if that goes awry, they're the first two to go down, or they're the first two to get tagged, as you can see right there. But nobody gone down just yet. Just a couple of tags either way. We'll see whether those are going to be influential moving forward in this round. Reason absolutely have to win this round. This is so crucial for them. Good bit of spray coming through. It's another couple tags, but it's not quite enough to finish off the kills. But there's Cryptix with a triple. Finds all that his team needs right there. They're looking at a second overtime at this rate. Mole and Jenko, though, they can make this happen. We've seen them do ridiculous things here today. And Jenko with a tasty little headshot onto Robin Nasty. Mole looking for a flank. But Rattlesnake did manage to get one little ambush onto his opponent. Cryptix incredibly low on HP. Bishop with that AWP maybe can make something happen right here. Cryptix will be the first one to duel. Mole and will go down. 1 versus 1 now. Mole can still make this happen for his team. Only 20 seconds, so he can't go for the rotate. Has to go for the duel, but Bishop misses the shot. And Mole will go down in the end. Bishop with a nice bit of positioning finds a good shot in the end. Be still, my beating heart. We are going to a second overtime. And what a map this has been.
Yeah, when Bishop missed that shot, you could feel a collective just, heart palpitation with everyone nearby. And, he recovers from it. He makes up for his mistakes. Could you imagine if that was what lost them the round just then? I mean, I think, that would have just been off the team. See you later, Bishop, man. You've had a great performance, but missing that shot, it was pivotal. Able to come back from it, correct his mistakes, and we're going to be seeing a double overtime straight into it. No messing around. Lots of aggression, lots of speed, and that's even true for how they're heading into these rounds.
Yeah, I think both of these teams. Oh, nice little shot from Jenko to start things off, but does get shut down in the end. 1 for 1 once again. These trades, very much the case at the moment. And to be honest, we're seeing these teams, it feels like they're almost developing over the course of today. Because, when we looked at Cobblestone, it was very much just aim battles. We were rarely seeing, correct trades coming through. Keo with a nice little shot there onto Ron will shut down the AWPer, and this should be around, to be honest, going the way of MnM. But now we're starting to see these two teams kind of form more as actual teams. We're starting to see them play as a unit and go for these trades, make sure they're covering each other. And we're seeing much better Counter-Strike because of it, I think.
Definitely so. I think that is a great point to be making. It does feel like they developed. And, as we head into it, of course, they are just mixed teams, so could be the fact that we're seeing them perhaps bond a little bit. But Aaron, he's going to be on the alert, takes down Cryptix, looking for a second, and he gets Robin as well, so they can't even save the M4s. And that's not going to be a great start here for the side of Reason. It is so much more expensive to buy up on that CT side. Plus, they also adopted the AWP. They're going to be doing it again in this round. If they lose this, they'll be in a situation where they're force buying in overtime, and that can only spell disaster, especially for a team that have been so reliant on their CT side half. If they forego this round and then potentially the third, that could be it for Reason.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun situation, and you know, at that point I fear they may just be looking down the barrel. Aaron has been found out though to start things off, but he misses the shots. Bishop! That was almost a full clip of ammunition that just went all directions around Aaron, but all in all, his teammate is able to capitalize. Rattlesnake did manage to get one kill, and Bishop found one himself. Actually, I'm going a little bit too ham on Bishop there. I think he did find the original kill, but couldn't turn it into a second. Robin Nasty, though, chimes in as well. Mole capitalizing on his position, though, and will find a kill for himself. 2 players left for MnM on this aggressive side, but Reason still with 3 members, still with an AWP in the hands of Rattlesnake. They should be able to capitalize on this one, but we've seen multiple times in this game alone that is not always the case. Rattlesnake going to be sneaking on up through toilets. He's going to be trying to find this flank with the AWP, no less, and will be able to get the bomb down onto the ground. Mole is all alone in the world. Will find a headshot for himself, though. He can make this happen, but Rattlesnake with the AWP will shut him down in the end. We've got an equalizer. This one isn't over just yet.
No, not at all. And I mean, I think Mole for me has been such a standout player just in terms of getting the trades. He's someone that, you know, I think you really have to focus on as someone who's just been getting these back and forth engagements and ultimately having them come out in favor of MnM right now. I mean, he's sitting on 36 frags, most on his team, and you can focus on Keo for having what could, potentially be defined as high impact plays for finding those entries, but it's Mole to be there to just remain at that pillar, that dependable pillar, just to get those trades in and ensure that they're never at too much of a disadvantage. Reason, though, they do equalize things back out, like you say. Mole to find the first, this time switching things up. He's going to switch over to entry, does take down Bishop. They don't account for Rattlesnake, though, who's going to be in a very promising position. Gets one out on Najenko. They close the door on him, though, and they don't want to have any more issues from him. Aaron on site, meanwhile, finds 2, finds a third as well. And now it's all on Rattlesnake, 1 versus 4. He's got a lot of frags left to find, and time is very much against him here.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration. Oh, Rattlesnake through the wall. What a shot from him. I was going to say you can see the frustration as his team dies and he's just knifing the air. But he's still going to go for some crazy plays. Keo shuts him down in the end. But that is going to be overtime 3. Our observer is calling right here. Still another half to overtime 2 just yet, but we'll see whether your prediction is going to be right. Herald on the observation, by the way, so shout-outs to Sonny over there. Good job so far, buddy. I would shout out his Twitter, but I can't actually remember what I'm pretty sure it's Herald CSGO.
It is, yeah.
So,
Herald CSGO, there you go.
There you go.
A little bit of plug-in for him. But yeah, it's going to go 19 to 20 here as we head into the second half of the second overtime, which is a bit of a mouthful to say the least. Let's see if we can see a third on the cards. It's going to be an AWP up on Rattlesnake and rifles across the board for Reason Gaming. MnM, though, on the other hand, they're going to be going for, like I say, the AWP and the rifles, trying to make things work. Rattlesnake has been a player who's been able to put some frags up with the AWP indeed, so it is going to be interesting to see that dynamic try and work its way into this one.
No kills found just yet, which, to be honest, with almost a minute left in the round, that's actually quite surprising. We've seen very early entries in most of the rounds of this game, to be honest. But we'll see what MnM are going to do to kind of kick things off here. They certainly have to be the aggressive ones. I've got to say, though, the names are the wrong way around right now.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure what's going on there. It is, in fact, Reason that are on the terrorist side right now, as Rattlesnake going to be pushing on forwards with that AWP. And I love how aggressive Rattlesnake plays with this AWP as well. He's just not afraid to go close quarters with that sniper and use it basically as a shotgun. But the bomb will be planted by Cryptix. So fantastic stuff for him. And it is going to be MnM doing Reason doing a great job on the attack right now, but Mole's arrived on the scene, found 2 for himself already, and he's going to be looking for a third. Sprays on through, but Rattlesnake doesn't quite go down. Finally finished the USP coming into play, but it's not going to be enough. MnM managed to grab them. Reason. I'm so lost now. I'm so lost.
Well, you see, now we've got MnM Gaming versus Molotovs and Marshmallows, which is, it's all good.
The overlay's throwing me off completely.
It's actually,
it was Reason that took that round.
It's a metaphor for the inner conflict that they're having right now within the team. They have to face themselves before they could face Reason. And that's what we're seeing. 20 to 20 currently. We're all tied up. And well, it's going to be rifles on the cards for MnM. Reason, they've got the AWP up on Rattlesnake. Once again, a very expensive buy. However, work out for them. And we're going to be seeing, looks to be a bit of a slow play coming out here. Keo over towards Long, trying to open things up. Cryptics, meanwhile, down and connected, finds the first, finds the second. Jenko and Aaron both go down. Two heavy hitters for the side of MnM, leaving it all on Keo out here towards Long. Is able to get one frag, but that is all she wrote as he goes down. Now it's 4-on-2. Mole and Stanley, the two players left to try and clutch this one out for MnM.
If Reason can get this one, it looks dicey for MnM, to be honest. Rattlesnake as well gets another one for himself. Mole, last man remaining. Two players on the side of Reason that are still full HP, and the other two tagged but not out just yet. And Rattlesnake finds one to put between the eyes of Mole. He's been absolutely fantastic with this AWP. Once he managed to warm up a little bit, Rattlesnake has been much more on point in that sniper position. But now, a very weak buy from MnM. This could be the round that takes Reason a map right here. This could be the round that pushes this to just a 2-1 advantage for MnM. And to be honest, I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case when we were looking at the second half of this map in general. I wasn't sure we were going to be going to overtime, but it is going to be a Reason once again kicking things off. And that was the player with the SMG. It was Jenko that had to make things happen right now. And with a Mag 7 in the hands of Keo, you've got a Deagle in the hands of Aaron. They're looking for miracles if they want to stay on overpass.
Yeah, and well, I mean, miracles is something they have been able to provide us with in the past. But currently, Reason, they already have that man advantage very early on. They're not going to be rushing into this either. They know that MnM are on a weak buy. They found that out when they killed Jenko, also just through keeping track of the money as a whole. And well, I mean, currently you're seeing the fruits of that knowledge. They're taking things very slowly. They don't want to play into the hands of these pistols up close. Smokes and flashes raining in towards this B site, going to signal their approach. It is all on Mole to try and hold it down. He's going to fall as Rubbernasty does find him. Stanley, the other player here, to try and hold the fort. Find a lot of frags on the back of this 5-7, and that's too much to ask. It's all on Keo now, 1 versus 5. He's got a Mag 7. Now, he might be amazing, but I don't think he's that amazing. As Cryptics, he finds him, and Reason, they take it 22-20, and just what an incredible game that was.
Yeah.